Shalom, shalom. Alright. First time doing a little drive and talk on the way to the Shiddah. Alright. And the Spirit hit me to say, well, babe, try to do something. You know, put a short, quick lesson. You know, because I was thinking, I was in deep thought. You know. But before I do that, first and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the Supreme Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rukaha, Kadash. And double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Alright, this is the brother Cosmo from the GMS Bahamas camp. Alright. Nassau, back at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Alright. A little drive and talk. You know what I mean? I ain't really had nothing prepared, but I was just thinking. You know, even though we in this truth, alright, in this walk, in this thing of ours, right, you know, even though we're going to come through trials and tribulations, you know, it's beautiful that the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai found us worthy or deemed us worthy, you know, to take on those challenges, alright, because He gives us His toughest battles, alright, to His strongest soldiers. You know what I mean? And each and every one of us, alright, our walk is going to be different. Alright, our trials and tribulation are going to come differently, right? But we know we have our just reward. Alright, and our reward is going to be great. Alright, because one of my favorite precepts is I found, alright, in the book of, I think it's Matthew, it says that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard, alright, the things that the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai have installed, alright, for those that love Him. Alright, so we can't even fathom to think what our reward will be. Alright, that the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai has for us. Okay, that's why we have to continue to trot on through, you know, take our chastising like a good soldier cheerfully. Alright, and know that the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai only chastise those who we love. Alright. Because guess what, we could have been in that, still been in that 2/3 state of mind. You know, we could have been thinking, alright, that we still in the truth, or we in the truth, doing the right things, when in fact, we're not. Alright. We basically, you know, we're dry bones that hadn't woke up yet. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine could you imagine still being under the perception that you could eat anything you want, you could continuously get drunk, you can continuously smoke and get high, continuously sell drugs, commit adultery, lie, steal, murder, alright, blaspheme, and serve false gods or other gods. Alright, because over here in the Bahamas, they big on that Christianity thing. Alright, and they big on that church every Sunday thing. Alright, and they big on you could just eat anything you want and pray over that. Kill and eat. Right? But the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai found us worthy, alright, to snap us out of that that slumber, after that drunken stupor. You know, snap us out of that deadly way of thinking. Alright? Because only the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai can wake you up to this truth. You see? Only the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai can wake you up to this truth. You know what I mean? Because we see it every day. You're right, in our daily walks with people. Alright? And our people, we know, you know who's your people, you know. But this ain't no with skin color or looks. Alright? But our people have a zeal for the Most High Power Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Well, I'm saying anyone if they love the Lord, you know, especially over here in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean, where they love the Lord, you know what I mean? They'll do anything for Him with their mouth. Alright? But ask them to put that plan in action. Stray too far from the topic. We have a lot to be thankful for. Alright? Because when the heat turns up, not saying that we ain't gonna go through it a little bit now, you know. Because when that farming hit the land, because farming is coming back in a major way, as we can see. All right, droughts happening all over the world. All right, and then big, large bodies of water also. The Euphrates River, the Tigris River. All right, the Amazon. All right, these large bodies of water is drying up. The Panama canals. All right, drought and heat. All right, affecting farming. All right, pestilence, grasshoppers eating the crops. You know what I mean? These things are here. All right, pestilence hitting the land. Measles in 24 states in Babylon. 800 people and counting have died so far. All right, and numerous amounts of others, hundreds. All right, sick. You know what I mean? Tariffs, poverty, inflammation, the mandatory inflation, Salakia. All right, the mandatory implementation of that damn Karagma. You know what I mean? And our eyes are wide open to it, because as we are commanded to measure the time diligently through the book of 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter and first on down, right, we commanded to be aware. All right, look out for these things. Right? So these are beautiful times that we're living in. Right, not to mention, right, the finishing move, the final move for those who used to watch wrestling. All right, the rude awakening, which is going to be World War III. All right, spearheaded by Russia and Babylon and their allies. All right, so we're living in some beautiful times right now. You know what I mean? So we have to lace up our boots. You know, get ready to fight. All right, fight the good fight for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Get ready to stand in the battle. All right, for the Most High Power Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Hold firm. All right, because the day of that great temptation is coming around. You know, everyone can say they love the Lord, and everyone can say that what they ain't gonna do from what they are going to do. All right, but when that time comes, when you're back against the wall, all right, when you have nowhere to turn, when they got you cornered, what you gonna do? All right, when they have your children and your wife and your loved ones basically at gunpoint or at guillotine point, all right, trying to force you to take, all right, that Karagma, that MOTB, all right, what you gonna do? All right, when they start with when they invade and they come with those what they call it, the peacekeepers, the martial law starts to take effect, all right, on a worldwide scale, what you can do? All right, when ain't no more food, all right, when they say you can't get no more food, or you can't get access to your money, or you can't get access to whatever ailments that you have for medical aid, all right, when life start to get dead rough, when life start to get hard for you, or even the deliciousness, all right, of this world starts to get hard for you, okay, no more access to cash, all right, what you gonna do? You know, but we have to stand firm, all right, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Reason being, all right, the Most High Power Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai says that He has just rewards, and in those days we don't have to worry. All right, we don't have to worry according to the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter. Like I say, all right, yeah, we might be going through one or two little things, but it's not going to affect us as drastically as the 2/3, all right, who are deemed to be blotted out. All right, they living deliciously now, all right, because why? They love the ways of this world, and they basically in one connection with this world. All right, that's why things might look like you might think, but hey, well, this one, how come this one doing so good and I hear just struggling, or how come this one doing so, you know what I mean? Not to say envious or jealous, but guess what? They are of the world, you know. We have a saying over here, but if ain't nothing going wrong, or if everything going hunky-dory and everything is peaches and cream, well, you better check yourself. Chances are you are aligned. All right? So lock you up. Chances are you are aligned with this world. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But, you know, just a little drive and talk. You know what I mean? Just God's will test or exam, all right, to see, all right, who's going to be excellent judges in those days, okay, in the days to come. You know, so we got to continue to endure to the end, all right. We got to continue to keep in the spirit. We got to continue to push through. You know, Silaki, I didn't have, I couldn't read a couple of precepts that I had because I on the road, but you know, I'll probably do that on the next video. Later on through the week. Yeah, but stand firm for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Continue to enjoy to the end. Continue to keep the faith. All right. The Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has beautiful things in store for us. You know, stay uplifted. You know, continue to be brotherly. Check on your brothers. All right. Continue to be humble. All right. And in that contrite spirit, continue sighing and crying for the downfall of this wicked empire of Esau Edom. All right. So that in our kingdom, you know, we ain't gonna be waking no more like that. In our kingdom, we ain't have no ailments. In our kingdom, we ain't have no sorrow, all right, no mournings, all right, no stress. All right, everything's gonna be restored in its natural order. The air we breathe is gonna be cleaner. The food that we eat is gonna be more beneficial. All right, everything is gonna be in its rightful order. You know. Yeah, but as I approach the Shaddah, they put in my 1 or 2 hours. They pick some cotton, you know. They probably claim, like I probably claim 1 or 2 slaves. You know, I work in the tourism industry. I see plenty of Edomites, Shedamites, them Moabites, and them Ammonites are enemies, according to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. You know what I mean? So probably claim some who could be in the back of the yard, all right? Either of them coming sand, raking sand, or picking some berries off our trees to make wine. Yeah. But stand firm for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Enjoy everything that comes your way. You know what I mean? Continue to repent, all right? Don't forget to pray. Repent. Come back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Repent. Pray without ceasing. You know what I mean? You know, just establish that relationship with the Most High Power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and trust me, He will show Himself. You know, the Most High will show Himself. The Most High has always been a guide. You know, it's always been a guide in those who loves Him lives. You know, seen and unseen. Everybody will have a testimony, right? Everybody has something that the Most High did. All right, that you know it only could have been Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. Yeah, well, like I say, approaching week. All right. You know, probably do something a little later on through the week, because I just see China just dropped one shocking statement pertaining to World War III. Gotta do something on that. Probably me and the brother Yerami will do something on that later on this week. Shalom. All right. A bad ball. Ban-Yasharahla. But before I go, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kaha, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great wisdom, and peace and